I started Saving Grace in 2004 because I had worked with animal control side and seen the shelters and got a feel for all kinds of different animal welfare organizations, and saw that there was really a need where people could come to a farm area or a environment where there was a lot more dogs, available, interacting with each other in more of a natural setting. So I also wanted to reach out to a lot of the most rural counties where they have a lot of animals coming in and not always a whole lot of people coming in to adopt because there's just not as populated there, and also don't always have the resources to help all those animals with the medical care they need so they can be adopted. So I started going out and working with some of those shelters and bringing them to my farm, and kind of learned about shelter behavior and how to choose the ones that would do best living with other dogs and being a great family companion.
We've always wanted to do it for the last year or so, and around Christmas, the Christmas hosting came up and we decided to try it, and we had a dog that we ended up keeping for 8 days through New Year's, and that was Toby. But we did it at Christmas and we just loved doing it, and we've done it several times since then. About once a month or so we host a dog. We thought it'd be good for us, like to have another dog in the house. We have a 7-pound toy poodle, and be good that we've read on the website that it's good for the dogs to get out and get some one-on-one attention. So we just thought it'd be fun to have another dog in the house, and a dog we could give some extra attention, some extra food, some extra love, and give them a special weekend. For us, it's a lot of fun, but I think for the dog, it gives them some one-on-one attention. They get a little bit of a break from the hustle and bustle here. It's a busy place, as wonderful as it is, and they maybe get a little extra rest. And I think it maybe helps them too with being used to being in a family again. This place is like a sanctuary to me, and not really a shelter, because these dogs, most of them, they have the farm to run around in, and they're so well cared for and so ready for a home with all of the work they do with the making sure of their temperament and crate training them, and the shots and the spay and the neutering, like the stellar of shelters. Because like I said, I don't think it's really a shelter. It's a sanctuary for these dogs. They're going to get a home no matter what. It may take them a while here, but they're going to get a good home, and they get a lot of love while they're here too.
Why did I host a dog? Because it's super fun for me. It's super fun for this one. This is Boo. She is an alum of Saving Grace. I got her here a few years ago. It's super fun for my dog to have new company to play with. It helps socialize Saving Grace's dogs, gives them a little break from being here, and hopefully it'll give them a little exposure and publicity out to the community, so other people will see the dogs and be more likely, to adopt them, which will make room for other dogs. I think the dogs enjoy it. I certainly do. I think the dogs enjoy it, and I think it gives them a little peace and a little break from being here with other dogs, and it gives them a taste of home. They get a little bit of training from the person that's hosting them as well, and then a lot of times they're living with another dog, and so that dog helps train them as well. I'd say if you like dogs, there's really nothing to stop you from doing it, because it's easy to do. Every dog that I've hosted has been great. I've wanted to adopt every single one of them, and Saving Grace has been really great to work with. You just come out on a Friday, pick up your dog, give them a lot of TLC, train them, work with them, play with them, take them around town as you can, and live your life, but incorporate the dog into it while you're doing it.
So a lot of these shelters don't really have a great setup for the dogs to live together or outside in play groups, just because a lot of dogs coming in, you don't always know a whole lot about them and what their sociability is with other animals. A lot of them are great, most are, but it's hard to get to know them when they're just in kennels. We also have a lot of great resources that we partner with, like local vets and donors in our area who can help us with special cases. A lot of the shelters, they just don't have this space when a dog comes in and needs extensive medical care, even sometimes just the most basic. They have to hold animals a certain amount of time for owners to find them. So if they don't have the space, then they don't really have a good opportunity for them to get the care they need before they're placed up for adoption. So we try to work with foster homes where they can do that, and then they come back to us for adoption when they're all ready.
So we got introduced to Saving Grace back in 2013 when we adopted a dog from here. And then in 2014, about a year later, my family and I started fostering for Saving Grace, and we've done so ever since. Our greatest need in our foster program is foster homes for young puppies. These are puppies that Molly brings in from shelters around the state, and they cannot come into Saving Grace, like when she brings adult dogs in or a little bit older puppies that she'll bring in that have already had their vaccines. Those dogs can come right into Saving Grace and be worked into their play groups here and be, just start spending their time here immediately. Young puppies have not been vaccinated yet, so they need to go to a foster home. That's really their only choice when she pulls them from these shelters. So fostering is opening up your home for, again, our greatest need is puppies, young puppies. It could be a single puppy, or it could be a litter of 10 or 11 or 12 puppies. Obviously that's not something everybody can do, and we don't expect everyone to be able to do that. But we have all varying needs as far as the number of puppies that come in together, or the size of litters. Moms and puppies, pregnant moms sometimes come in. And then we also have a need for recovery fosters. So that is a dog that has maybe been here at Saving Grace and then has had a surgery or is just not feeling well and needs kind of a quieter place than here at Saving Grace to recover. So that type of foster is a little shorter. A recovery foster is usually going to be about 2 weeks, and you're just kind of giving the dog a quiet place out of the craziness of here, and giving them a quiet place to recover and get healthy and get ready to come back here. So having this fostering program here at Saving Grace really allows us to rescue even more dogs than we ever possibly could if we didn't have it. Again, these puppies are too young to just come right to Saving Grace and be here. So the more foster homes we have, the more young puppies Molly's able to pull from these shelters, and the more dogs we're able to rescue. Usually here at Saving Grace, we have anywhere from 100 to 100 plus dogs here, but we often have just as many puppies in varying, in different foster homes. So we're able to double our footprint, if not even more than that, and save that many more dogs by having foster families available.
So a lot of the dogs we take would not have an option somewhere else. Like I said, a lot of the shelters, they just have so many coming in, and that's not the shelter's fault whatsoever. It's more of a issue of spay neuter, and that's still a huge need, and a lot of our state is having more access to spay neuter so that there's not so many unwanted animals. So those dogs come to us, they are spayed and neutered, and they get matched with a really great family where they live a life as a family member. So we have a lot of people that come out, they bring their family, sometimes their current dog, to find a friend, or they might just come looking for dogs, and we try to match them. We have a really great adoption program with some great adoption counselors, some volunteers, as well as a couple of adoption staff who will match people with what they're looking for.
I've been doing rescue work for about 14 years. Illinois, North Carolina, there's always a need for homeless pets versus a breeder that's usually out to make $1, where there's wonderful pets in a shelter. It runs completely different than your standard shelter that you go in and see dogs in kennels. They're kind of like your family pets when you come to work. You see them, they come outside and play in play groups, you see them interact that way. I think this is a pretty representative way of how they're going to be in your home. They have a play group, how they do in the crate for crate training, how they play with other dogs if you have dogs in your home. So I feel it's a little bit more home life for them in some aspects than a true kennel environment in a shelter. Probably 4 of my 6 that we've adopted probably would have been euthanized at the shelter because they are older. 3 of them have had heartworm that we treated. 2 of my female beagles have had numerous puppies, and one of them had a very major mammary mass removed and extensive surgery that the shelters wouldn't have the resources to help her and save her, where Molly and the donors and sponsors at Saving Grace had the money and the way to help them. I say come out here. There's something for everybody. If you want a small dog, a big dog, a puppy that's 10 weeks old, or an old dog that's 10 years old, there's something for everybody here.
We have a really great volunteer program, all kinds of needs for volunteers. So we operate pretty much only on volunteers. We have a couple of staff, but just a couple of paid people. So it's mostly all volunteers.
My name is Gail Roden, and I work here at Saving Grace on Saturday mornings. Oh, it's very glamorous. We come in and we clean crates because the dogs have been in all night. And once everybody's been out for a potty break, we feed them breakfast. We give them their meds if they have meds. And then we rotate them in and out through the morning so they get lots of playtime with their buddies and they get socialized. Hey, Pebbles. This is Pebbles. I don't think she's been here very long, and I don't think she'll be here very long because she's adorable. I think somebody's going to adopt her pretty fast. Oh my gosh. Well, today it's about 96 degrees outside, so it's hot and sweaty, but you don't even notice it because you're all about the dogs, and it's really fun. You make good friends, you feel like you're doing a real good deed, and you get to be around dogs all the time, which is awesome. Oh my gosh, Saving Grace has an amazing impact on these dogs. We had a little guy here named Sundance who came maybe 2 months ago or more, and he was so frightened when he came, he wouldn't even let people near him. And gradually we gained his trust. Last week I opened the crate and he jumped out into my arms. So they really learn how to trust people, and it gets them ready for going into a family and being somebody's treasured pet. It's amazing. We're a really friendly bunch. We have orientations at least once a month, and we'll teach you everything that you need to know to be a volunteer here. And find your niche. Find out what you like to do, what time you like to work. Do you like to give medications to dogs? Do you like to help keep the grounds looking clean and beautiful? Do you like to feed them? What do you like to do? And we'll find a job for you.
So we operate only on donations, so we don't receive any sort of funding other than donations. So we rely solely on that for making Saving Grace happen. So we are always looking for monetary donations, as medical care is our biggest need, is our biggest expense. So if people make a donation, they can go through our website and make a donation with a credit card, or they can send a check to our mailing address, which is also on the website. We are always in a huge need from our community. Even though we have already such a great thing, it's always a need for us to have more volunteers to take care of the dogs, to help support Saving Grace so that we can continue to say yes to a lot of these dogs that need us and might not have another option.